In this video, we will edit 4 files: index.php, database.php, model.php, and home.php. Index.php is the controller, model.php is the model, home.php is the view, and database.php is a support file that contains the database connection object. This video assumes that the visitors database is installed in your local development environment. The script to create and install the tables can be found in the support folder, and that there exists a proxy user with insert, update, select, and delete privileges for the visitors database, and that the proxy user's username and password are known to you. Begin by opening the database.php file in the support folder. You will note that the name of the database, visitors, already exists in the DSN string found on line 3. Enter your proxy username and password into lines 4 and 5 respectively. The path to the database error.php view on line 11 is wrong. Alter the path to the file, which should be found in the Views folder. When done, test the file by making sure the local web and database servers are running, and then calling the database.php page in your localhost browser. If the screen is blank, the connection was successful. If you see the database error page, the connection failed. If it failed, troubleshoot until it is operational. Next, open the index.php file at the root of the application folder. This file has a lot of code left over from the dynamic website demonstration. Let's begin by copying the prepared statement found on lines 5 through 10. Open the model.php file, also found at the root of the application folder. If there is any code in the model, delete it. The only thing left should be an opening PHP code block on line 1. Paste the code from the index.php file into the model. Return to the index.php page. Select everything from line 5 to the bottom of the page and delete it. The index.php page is our controller, and so will contain a series of control structures to determine what is being received from the browser, and then contain a series of processes to fulfill the request. Begin by changing the require once statement to require the model.php file. Once we have built the various functions in the model, they will need to be within the scope of the controller to be used. The require once will make that happen. Next, we will write code to capture the request from the browser that will serve as a trigger event within the controller and assign it to a uniform local variable. As mentioned in the conceptual overview video, we will use action as that variable. We will add a comment to line 5 explaining what is happening. On line 6, we will use a filter input function to capture any value passed to the controller with the name of action. We will check both the post and get for any such name-value pair. In either case, the value, if any, will be stored into our variable named action. By using a uniform variable, we can use a switch control structure to simply check for various values that action may contain. Based on the value, we can then perform whatever process is needed. Using a switch statement, like an if-else, tests for a value and if not found, defaults to the else. In this case, we will do the same. However, With the switch, instead of using else, we use default, but it is placed at the end of the switch to allow for other tests to be performed first. On line 12, begin the switch structure as shown. Make sure that the action variable exists inside of the switch parentheses. This allows whatever value stored inside of it to be compared against the various case statements. The case statements act like an if test. The break keyword ends each case process and is the equivalent of a right curly brace at the end of an if block. Right now, we will not have a value for our first case test, but we will enter a value that will be used in a future video. Enter register, all lowercase, on line 13, within quotes immediately following the case keyword. Make sure that there is a colon following the register string. With case quote register unquote colon on line 13, the first time we call the index, nothing will happen because the value of register will not be found in the action variable. This means the default should occur. The purpose of this video is to deliver the home.php page. So, to do that, create an empty line between the default colon statement on line 18 and the break semicolon statement found on line 19. In the new line, write include quote views slash home.php close quote semicolon. That's it. Now, before running this application to make sure things worked, we have to fix a few things. Open the model.php page and comment out all code found in the page. As it is, if the code were live, we would get errors. By commenting it out, the errors should be avoided. Open the home.php view. Delete the entire code block found on lines 1 through 15. Make sure that the doctype declaration is on line 1. Edit the path in the link element found on line 7 to point to the CSS folder. The line should read href equals quote css slash style.css close quote. Save everything if you have not already done so. Start your local web and database servers if they are not already running. Run the index.php file. If everything worked, the index page should have delivered the home.php view to your browser. There should be no data, but the home.php view was delivered by the controller. In the next video, we will add code so that the data from the visitor's database will be added to the view.